One of the biggest lessons that I learned about purpose is this transition from why to who. I used to ask a lot of questions when I was younger, like why me? Why are we going through these situations? Why my family? Why this challenge? Why? But I never looked at my life through the perspective and the lens that I'm actually connected to other people. And when I made that switch from why, which is more so just focusing on a problem, to who, which is actually allows for me to have a lot more wider perspective and for me to look at life that's bigger than myself, then I recognize there are so many more individuals that are going through the same challenges and issues that I'm going through. When I ask why, it's all about me. And my focus is on me, and my mentality is on me, and I'm woe is me, right? But when I ask myself who, I actually look out and recognize that, man, there's so many different people that could use the same help that I'm actually asking for. That the storm of life isn't just raining down on my parade, it's actually raining down on a lot of people. And what can we do to be able to help everybody that's going through these different challenges? And that's the biggest thing that I realized within my life. And I recognized that when I was a middle school teacher, and one of my seventh grade students came to class one day, and you could visibly see that something was going on with her. And so I pulled her off to the side and started asking her questions, and we began to have this conversation. And she doesn't really want to open up at first. But then she finally tells me that, she's been bullied. And it's like a constant thing. Like every single day when the bus rolls up to pick her up, they're talking about our house, they're talking about our clothes, they're talking about her parents. Like they're literally just every day, it's like a constant thing. And she said to me, and it's so bad that where I don't even want to live anymore. And to hear that a seventh grader doesn't want to live, man, that broke me. It's like, man, because I've been in that situation myself to where I didn't see hope, to where I didn't even want to keep doing this thing called life. And what I did in that moment is I actually shared with her, because she told me this is the first time that she's ever shared this with anybody, because she didn't feel comfortable sharing it with anyone else. But then once I shared with her the reason why I felt that was the case, because I've been in that situation myself. I told her about my experiences, I told her about my challenges, I told her about the struggles that I had growing up. And she said, man, I would have never thought somebody that's always smiling like you, somebody that seems to be so positive, that's what you've been through. And I said, man, the version you see of me isn't the one that was always there. It took a lot of work for me to gain confidence. It took a lot of work for me to understand my value and my worth. It took a lot of work for me to become the person that I am. And I told her that that's the same thing for you. You're looking at things from the perspective that you have right now, but I'm telling you that there's so much more that's inside of you. And I shared a couple of things that I've actually done within my life. And man, this conversation went from one to where she was in despair at the very beginning to she was actually smiling at the end. And I recognized in that moment that she spoke to me before I even told her what I went through, because something allowed her to know that she had a connection. There was a safe space with me. And that's what experiences do. We can tell when somebody can understand. We can tell when somebody has possibly been through it, even if we don't necessarily know, we can tell. And I recognize that, man, I have to do more. I actually have to say more. I got to speak up about the things that I don't talk about, because it's not about why. I recognize that she was one of my who's. I recognize there are so many thousands or millions of people that are struggling right now, and I can actually share hope with them. It's not about why I went through it, because I recognize the why every time I meet a who. And for you, if you have something like that within your life, just recognize that there are people that are connected to your experiences. And when you overcome, you have the opportunity to actually be that beacon of light, that beacon of hope for them.